Well, good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today it's a lovely, lovely Saturday, and I wanted to share with you guys a device I just got in the mail today, and this is called the Foobot. And now, if you guys are new to my channel, basically I review products, and you guys know mainly I love to review watches, but I have been on the smart home kick lately, and I like to share really anything I get my hands on, whether it be for myself or for my home, with you guys. And if you guys have watched my videos in the past, you guys know I'm a huge watch addict, but also I'm really, really into the smart home stuff. Anything that can make your, I guess, home cooler is definitely something that I'm into. And I've been into the smart home stuff for a while now, and I'd probably say about a good year, I've accumulated over 40 different devices that are always connected via Wi-Fi, whether it be from camera systems, network-attached storage for movies, Fire Sticks, the Kodi program for your home media, where you can watch your movies directly to any TV in the house using a Fire Stick or a Chromecast feature. So the list goes on and on. You guys know I'm really, really into this stuff. And so I reached out to a company recently, and what a better device to have than a smart home monitor. And what this device does, again, it's called the Foobot, and this device actually monitors your air quality in your home. There's lots of different things you can do as far as integration that as time goes on, I'll integrate other devices to work with this. Right now, the device that I have, I've been able to get the Amazon, we're not going to say her name, to basically tell you, you can by voice command, you can ask it the air quality, and it'll tell you the air quality. I opted to put this in my bedroom, and the idea behind that was because this is where I spend a lot of time when I'm sleeping, and I like to monitor the air quality in my bedroom. And I just think it's, you could probably have one downstairs as well, but I just opted also to have one upstairs because with the IFTT integration with this particular device, you can set this that if the temperature gets too hot upstairs, it'll communicate with your smart thermostat, and that's with the IFTT. Other neat things you can do, and I had them programmed the other night, but there was a little bit of a delay with it, so I deleted the appellate. One thing I was able to do with it is when this detected CO2 levels that were I guess not desirable, it'll flash the LifeX bulbs in the house, and you can set that for the CO2. And this thing also picks up several different chemicals, or I don't know if that's the right word for it. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. It picks up gas pollutants, particulate matter, temperature, of course, humidity, and CO2, and of course outdoor pollution. It's linked up with wherever you live, there is going to be some sort of pollution monitor in that state to allow you to look at your pollution index in your house versus the outside or the environment. Now, I wasn't able to change the location, so I'm not really sure if maybe that was the closest one near my home, but that's just some of the features it has. A little bit about gas pollutants. Automotive grade MOS sensor tracks volatile organic compounds, formaldehyde, benzene, ammonia, methane, and it's highly sensitive to carbon monoxide, so that's fantastic. So what a better place than to have that in your room when you're sleeping, This thing could also be set to notify you in the event that there is a dangerous level of any of those gases. Particulate matter, this one here says PM 2.5, far from being just a dust sensor. Foobot measures every fine particle from 0.3 to 2.5, I'm not really sure what that symbol is, with low latency detection. Humidity, of course, it says high humidity directly affects the amount of allergens and bacteria indoors. Low humidity weakens our bodies against viruses and microbes. Temperature, of course, that's self-explanatory. And, of course, your CO2, it says our algorithm calculates the CO2 value derived from the VOC sensor. And once again, outdoor pollution. So it's a really, really great device that monitors your home air quality. And one thing I've noticed, and I'm going to show you the device in a second here and just show you the app as well. One thing I noticed that when you breathe directly on it with your breath, 3 big breaths will actually cause it to go into the orange mode. And I'll show you that in a second, just to test it out, because your body produces CO2. So the device is really, really sensitive. What's really interesting too. This morning I went ahead and made the bed, and it's kind of, dusty this time of year. All the windows are closed, and I noticed that, the sunlight was coming through the window, and there was a huge puff of dust. And this thing actually was affected by that and gave me a notification with the LEDs on the front of the device. So let me just go ahead and show you. This is the box, of course. Pretty much self-explanatory. I also want to thank the guys over at Foobot for their generosity in sending this device on the house for my home and to share with you guys. And as time goes on, I will re-review this product and tell you, one thing it's great about getting products is not only can I review it, my initial unboxing, my setup, but I can also come back to it and, you know, tell you guys what I think about it. You guys have probably watched my other video I did the idea of the One Link. It's like an environment monitor. This is light years ahead of that, much, much better. And for the price point, these can be had for about $130 to about $200 online. So I'll put a link in the description where you can pick this up for the best deal, of course. One nice thing about this device as well is, like I mentioned, you can do some IFTT integration. So naturally, anytime, and I did delete this feature because there was a delay, and I'll play with it at a later date, but for instance, it did actually work at one moment where I went ahead and breathed on it to trigger the CO2, and when the level rose too much, it went ahead and notified IFTT, and if you're not familiar with IFTT, it stands for if this, then that. That website basically allows you to do all kinds of cloud-based smart home integrations where these devices can link up together, and you can set it to send you an email, send you a text message if it detects pollution or whatnot, or you know, extra dusty environment in your room, temperature. And what I had it set to do was communicate, just to test it out, with my Honeywell smart thermometer, or thermostat, excuse me. And so what happens is when the temperature upstairs reached the threshold, it went ahead and sent a signal to change the temperature of the thermostat downstairs. And that's kind of the idea why I put it upstairs, because sometimes the downstairs is cooler than the upstairs, naturally, because heat rises. So let's just say I'm relaxing in my bedroom. Let's say I have the fireplace on up here, which is actually voice controlled as well. I'd like to show you that in a second. And let's just say I turn the fireplace on up here and the room gets a little too hot, okay? Or just maybe the heat's kicking on quite a bit. The upstairs is getting really, really warm. And, you know, you're going to have that, I guess, the difference in temperature from downstairs. So let's just say downstairs is very comfortable at 70. Maybe all that hot air, I'm just hanging out upstairs, and maybe upstairs is like 75, right? Now, naturally, it shouldn't be that way in your home, but let's just say it was. The Foobot will actually communicate with the thermostat once it hits that threshold and turn the heat off, or I had it set to kick on at 68 degrees. So let's say normally I have it at 70, maybe there's a little bit of a fluctuation in the house for whatever reason, maybe a lot of sun coming through during the day or whatnot. It'll kick the thermostat off because there's no point in heating a room that you're already comfortable in, right? Or getting it too hot. Again, I told you about the IFTT, the integration with the LifeX bulbs, and so the list goes on and on what this thing can be integrated with. I've also integrated it with Alexa. I'm surprised she didn't come on. So you can say, "Hey Alexa, what's the air quality like in my bedroom?"
I don't have an opinion on that.
Alexa, ask Foobot the air quality of my bedroom.
Air quality is great in the bedroom.
So it doesn't really do a lot with the voice integration with her. However, like I said, this thing can be programmed with the different thresholds to trigger different events to happen in your house. So one thing I would really like to get at one point, just because, you know, forced air heating systems, it's always kind of dusty, and even though I change the filter often, it still has a lot of dust in my house. And, you know, I keep after it, of course, it's never dirty or a mess, but I always thought about getting maybe at some point a air filter for my bedroom. And it would be really nice is what you can do with that is to set this to trigger an action. So let's say the air quality hits that certain threshold in your bedroom. It'll automatically send a signal to program to turn on, let's say, you know, with one of the smart plugs and whatnot, a home air filter, which would be really, really great. So, no, I could have this thing set if I wanted to. I have a ceiling fan. Alexa, turn on the bedroom ceiling fan.
Sorry, I didn't find bedroom ceiling fan.
Hey Google, turn on the bedroom ceiling fan.
Sorry, I don't know how to help with that.
Okay. Alexa, turn on the bedroom fan. You have to be very specific in what you say.
Okay.
So naturally you can see the fan kicked on. That was my mistake because I don't have it named ceiling fan. I just have it listed as bedroom fan. So Alexa, turn off the bedroom fan.
Okay.
So one thing I could do if I wanted to, I could actually set this, and I may try it out. I could actually set this to turn on this fan in the event that the room becomes extra dusty, or maybe it picks up CO2 or whatnot. I'm not really sure if it would really help the room, but you get the idea. You can have it turn on different things based on the air quality. So as far as the presentation is concerned, I showed you the box already. Pretty straightforward. You guys know I never really get too involved in the box. However, it just slides open and it is a cardboard box. Very, very easy to set up as far as getting it to connect to your Wi-Fi. Let me just go ahead and go over here. We'll get a little closer to it. Now, the only negative thing I have to say, and this has been an issue with lots of smart devices that I've had, including some of my cameras and whatnot. The problem is sometimes this thing is, when you open up the app, okay, you go ahead and add the Foobot, right? And when you go ahead and add the app, it's going to ask you, hey, it's very straightforward. Are you connected to your Wi-Fi? Are you this? Are you that? And basically, as long as your phone is connected to the Wi-Fi, what I recommend doing is disabling mobile data in that meantime, because you only want to connect between the device and your own network. You don't want to be your phone to be connecting to your wireless network when it loses connection because it's trying to configure the Foobot. And so a lot of these devices, when you configure them, sometimes will configure very easily. So in this case, mine did not. And so what I had to do was just follow the instructions. This app is very, very user-friendly. It'll tell you exactly what to do. In my case, I couldn't just connect to the Foobot and then send my credentials to it with the app. I had to actually do it the manual way. And what that involves is you actually disconnect from your Wi-Fi network, and you connect to the Foobot as its own network, okay? You connect to the Foobot, and then you just follow these steps in the app to enter your Wi-Fi credentials that way. And when I did that, that was able to work for me. And then once it gets the Wi-Fi credentials, it'll connect to your network, and then you're golden, okay? Now, that might work for you, maybe that you might have to go through that process as well. But what my point is that the app is very, very user-friendly. It'll tell you exactly what to do to get it to go in those modes. And when you're actually setting it up to get it to go in that those modes, you'll turn it upside down. It'll tell you, okay, click next, turn it right side up. It'll tell you exactly what the device is doing. And when I say that, what I mean by that is that the device has these awesome LEDs right in the front, okay? And they run through basically around the entire device. And these will actually turn from blue to amber in the to give you an idea of what your air quality is like. So naturally right now you can see the air quality is not 100% perfect here, but we're almost to the top. Now if the air quality was 100% perfect, this entire ring would be lit blue. But it's probably picking up some dust. It might be picking up some of the CO2 from me. I did notice the other night, well, let's leave out the specifics, but me and my girlfriend were hanging out, and I did notice that the CO2 in the room got a little higher. I'll let you guys be, all right, don't worry about that. So anyway, it is very sensitive, and it will pick up the presence of, if you had several people in here, or even the two of us hanging out and breathing a little heavier, you know what I'm saying? Sorry. The thing did actually go into the amber mode, which lets you know if there's higher CO2 levels in the room. Nothing life-threatening or dangerous, but it's very sensitive. It's a very interesting device as far as being able to pick that up. I was pretty surprised. So basically what will happen is, and I'm just going to give you an example, and I'm going to blow on this, okay? I'm just going to let my breath out, so it'll trigger the lights to change. So you're going to notice here in a second, it's going to detect that the quality of the air has decreased. It'll take a second. And you can see the light starting to come down a little bit. Now, I'm not really sure if I breathed on it enough to do that. We'll do that. We'll see if we can get it to trigger. You can see the light starting to dim down from top to bottom. Hopefully we can get it to go into amber here. So it didn't look like we were able to get it to go into amber. I'll try it one more time. We'll see if that got it to work there. So it doesn't look like that I'm putting out enough CO2 really to trigger this thing to go into that mode. I'll try from the top because maybe that's where... Okay, so there you go. So you saw it drop and then turn amber. So obviously the CO2 sensor is on top of this device. So you see it went right into amber mode. And now as the air quality gets better, as it detects that there's not that CO2 that I just tricked it, it'll go turn blue again. So naturally, at this point, blue is going to be all the way up. This whole LED lit up max blue. It's going to be best air quality, and as it drops, it's going to drop down to less and less blue and then turn amber. Now, I believe if the air quality turned really, really poor, the entire thing is going to light up amber. And I think it's opposite that when this thing lights up, you know, completely amber, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I believe if the CO2 was higher, it would go from the low setting amber and it would continue to rise. But don't quote me on that because I haven't really had it trigger any kind of alarm where it picked up that much, particulate matter or CO2 or any kind of, you know, gases that would cause it to trigger. Like I said, the other morning, or this morning, when I did actually, you know, make the bed and there was a huge puff of dust that came out of the carpet, I could see it because the light was shining through. It did turn into the amber mode, and I'm curious to see what it'll actually do. They say that this thing, once you're cooking in the house, that when you cook any kind of food with a gas oven, that will actually put more particles into the air. So we'll see what that picks up. I was gonna put it downstairs, but like I said, I just wanted to use the temperature sensor, and this is where I spend most of my time in the bedroom. And I just kind of feel like this is the safest place for it, especially with the carbon monoxide and CO2 sensor. I think it's very, very important. That could save your life. Even though I have a carbon monoxide detector in my bedroom already, or a carbon monoxide alarm, I still opt to have this in the bedroom. And maybe at a later date I'll get another one for downstairs. But as far as the device itself, it's only available in the one color, I believe. This is all white, and you can see the LEDs. It's pretty straightforward. I'm just kind of showing you kind of what it looks like. You can look at the pictures and look at that online, but basically it just looks like a big, almost like a big soda can with a bunch of slits in it. And so the nice thing too about the voice control with this thing here is, and let's go ahead and try it, I believe that Alexa, change the brightness of my Foobot LEDs.
Sorry, I didn't find my phone, my LEDs.
Alexa, turn off the Foobot LEDs.
Sorry, I didn't find LEDs.
Let's try something else. Alexa, tell Foobot to turn off the LEDs. Okay, so there you go. Alexa, tell Foobot to turn on the LEDs. Alexa, tell Foobot to turn on the LEDs.
Done. So
that's kind of cool. So that's kind of a nice feature with the voice control, because I will say having this in the bedroom, it is pretty bright. I'm going to put you down here so I can continue to talk to you guys. Having it in the bedroom, it is pretty bright at night. And so in the app, you can actually adjust the LEDs manually if you want to turn them completely off or completely up. Right now, I think it defaulted to maximum brightness right there because I had them a little bit dim. And so it's nice that I can just go ahead and tell her right before I get into bed to do those kind of things and just turn off the light so I don't have to fumble with the app, okay? But you can do it with the app. So now I just want to go ahead and show you the app real quick here. And I'll do my best to just kind of give you an idea. And like I said, if this is something that you want to get, naturally, the app is really, really straightforward. It doesn't really have a bunch of features, but I'm going to go ahead and show it to you anyway, okay? And what's kind of cool, though, too, is if you checked out my other video last week where I put in the in-wall iPad mount from iWallDock, a fantastic device. I mounted an older iPad mini that I don't really use all that much. So it's a nice way to, you know, keep it charged, preserve the battery life, and keep it in the wall where I can view my security cameras. And this app is available on iOS as well, so you can see your environment. It looks pretty cool having the environment sensor data right next to your smart home thermostat. So here's the app right here. And you can see right now it says in the middle that the air quality in the room is great. And if we want to go to carbon dioxide, it'll show the carbon dioxide setting, and it'll give you what it, you know, basically the thresholds as far as what grade is. You can see right now that we're in good right here, probably because we just triggered it and we're in the room talking. And volatile compounds, that's going to be 137 parts per billion, I believe. And the great rating is 0 to 150. So obviously, and of course the particulate matter, we're about half the threshold for great. So naturally, and then you hit the center button to show you the overall room, or the overall status of your room, the air quality. And of course, you have a few different settings here. It gives you a couple different tips. It'll give you your humidity right over here, so we're at 44%, and then the temperature in the room is 69 degrees, okay? And then, of course, if you want to go into the menu, you can add a Foobot. That's if you got a second one. Your language, your temperature units, my account, and you can see it says Bedroom Foobot. And so if I want to go ahead and click that, I can go to Settings, Notifications. Now, it won't allow you to do notifications yet because It's available 6 days, I guess, after it warms up the sensor. So I'll play with that at a later date. And that's what's great about being able to re-review this stuff. And of course, settings, you have your time zone, you have your location, and then of course your LED intensity, and you can set an LED timer, although I haven't really played with that too much because I figure it's easy enough for me to voice command it. So that's really it in a nutshell. It's not, it doesn't have tons of different settings or features in the app, but it does what it says it does, and that's to give you the status of your air quality wherever you put this. And like I said, what I find really, really interesting about it is that I'll be able to trigger events if I want to at a later date. So now, I don't use it for this, but for instance, I have my fireplace linked up to a Sonos switch, which if you haven't checked out my video for the cheapest smart home switch available, $4.95, you basically convert an extension cord to a smart switch. It's a no-brainer, and it integrates with Google Home and Her, of course. So I could say, hey Google, turn on the bedroom fireplace.
Okay, turning on the bedroom fireplace.
As you can see, I have an electric fireplace right there that just kicked on. And just for ambiance. Now I do use this sometimes. I do turn it on if it's really cold in the room or whatever. But I always use a electric blanket as well, or electric heating pad. So I can basically keep the temperature of the house pretty cool at night, and I'm never cold. It really takes the chill out of the bed. So it's a great device if you don't have one already. I'll put a link in the description for all this stuff that you might want to integrate into your home, but for instance, I could, with this device, set this thing to, although I mentioned earlier that I had to communicate with my smart thermostat to turn off the heating system, okay? One thing this can do also is I can set this to turn on the fireplace. Let's say the temperature in the room gets a little too cold, I can opt to do that. Now, the fireplace itself is electric, and it does have two different settings, a 750 watt and a 1200 watt setting. So I usually leave it on the 750 just because, this room is on the same circuit. So if you have all the stuff on at the same time, I don't know if you probably might trigger the breaker at one point, because that's a lot of juice when you start having TVs on and everything else. But I keep it on 750, so I could set it to actually come on in the event that it got a little chilly in here. Now, I don't recommend personally having devices that are smart that can actually cause issues. I know there's lots of devices coming down the path, but I personally wouldn't want something to happen whereas the power goes out and I come home and all the lights are on, and I wouldn't want the fireplace pumping hot air into the room, because that could cause that could be a fire hazard. You know what I mean? I'd rather be here when those kind of things are on. Just like you leave the house, you turn off the coffee pot, same kind of thing. So I could actually have that thing set up to do that, but I'm not going to do that. What I have it set up now is, even though it's on a smart device, I have the fireplace, the heating element, off, because my fireplace has the ability to do that, like most of them. So right now, worst case is this thing comes on. I've replaced the bulbs in the fireplace with 2 LED bulbs that are 40 watt equivalents, probably only drawing like, I don't know, 10 watts of power, if even that. So if this thing comes on, it's not going to be blowing through electricity, and it's not going to be a fire hazard at all. So that's just kind of something you should think about. I mean, it's totally up to you as far as if that's something you feel comfortable with or not, but I personally just like to have things that could cause a problem not be on a smart device. For instance, like the gas fireplace downstairs, I personally looked into maybe having that be able to turn on with a switch or with a voice command, but I just prefer not to have something like that on that. Although your smart thermostat, I guess, can be said as the same thing. If you're not there and something malfunctions, it's going to turn on the heat. But let's face it, any thermostat's going to do that as well. So I guess it's something you just have to kind of live with. And it's nice to be able to check the app. And with that being said, you can set alerts with these things to basically notify you in the event that, let's just say, I'm at work and all of a sudden I get an alert saying the temperature in the house is 85 degrees. Okay, I know something's malfunctioned. I'm going to get that alert. So that's something kind of like a double, I guess like it's like a second set of, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's like just another layer of protection in the event that something does happen. This device is actually going to be able to always monitor the air quality, the air temperature, and of course the humidity. I mean, if you were gone or something like that, next thing you know, your humidity level spikes, you get a notification. Well, that could tell you, okay, well, did a pipe break or something like that. So it's just another level of security and protection for your home and for your loved ones. So I know I rambled on a lot there, 24 minutes, that was a long video, but I hope I answered any kind of questions you guys might have. I'm pretty excited that the company was nice enough to send me that. I want to thank them again, really, really much appreciated. I look forward to messing with this device down the road too to figure out what else it can do. I'm really looking forward to getting an air cleaner. That would be, I think, a nice addition for the bedroom, and definitely, you know, it definitely would aid in keeping the dust down as well. So guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Lots more smart devices coming. I got a few more watch reviews coming out too this week. Stay tuned for those. And remember, subscribe to the channel. Click the little bell icon there to be notified anytime I upload a new video. And as always, if you're interested in this stuff or have any questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment. I'll put links in the description where you can pick this stuff up for the best deal. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and have a great day.